Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. In today's video I want to talk about a topic I haven't covered since way back in September 2021, and that is luck. I have over the past while gotten many messages and comments on my videos asking about luck, and it is quite clear that some newer people are a little confused about luck in New World. They don't quite understand how luck affects certain things, that there are different types of luck, and each type works in similar ways, but also in significantly different ways. So first, I want to clarify that in New World there are three different types of luck. Loot luck, which affects the items that creatures drop, or the stuff you will get from chests. And to take that a step farther and further clarify, by chests I mean ancient chests, glyph chests, acid pool chests, any chests that you have to click and access. What it does not affect is any cache or bag or anything you open in your inventory, like ones from Outpost Rush or Aptitude crates. The next type of luck is fishing luck. This luck affects the quality of fish you catch when you are fishing. It doesn't affect the salvage return from the fish or anything other than what fish might simply bite your hook. And finally, gather luck, which is the one we will be looking at more closely today. Gathering luck in New World increases your chance to get rare drops when you gather different kinds of nodes around a turnum. As long as your gathering skill is high enough for each type of node, you can gather it for the base resource, such as fibers, iron, weirdwood, anything like that. However, there are more rare types of resources and items you can obtain from these gathering nodes, like Shadecloth and Void Ore and various perk items. In order to get these, you'll want to raise your gathering luck. So first, it's important to understand that each gathering profession, mining, skinning, harvesting, and logging, each has its own unique gathering luck associated with it. Which is why if you want to make the most coin possible from doing any of these, it's important to use the gear with the stat on it. Before we get into this, let's first look at exactly how gathering luck will play a role in your gathering. Unlike loot luck, gathering luck is not nearly as complicated. The way it works is quite simple. Each node type and tier will have a few loot buckets associated with it. And when you interact with the node, you will basically roll a dice, which will roll a number between 1 and 100,000. And depending on the number you roll, the game decides what you get. Make sense? And this is where gather luck comes in. To better explain it, I will use Fey Iron as an example. If you're mining and your gather luck is 0, and you're mining iron veins, your chances of getting Fey Iron is 0. You simply can't. The reason is because in order to get Fey Iron, you will need to roll a 100,500. So you see, what gather luck does is add to your dice. 100 additional to your dice is 1% gather luck. So, in order to even have a chance to get Fey Iron, you will need 5% mining gather luck. This will add the additional 500 to your roll. So before I get into each type of gathering and your required thresholds, let's first cover where you can get the gather luck in the first place. First, your armor. This will of course come in the form of reinforced gather luck. You can either get a dedicated set with this perk on it as a drop, or you can craft it for yourself using perk items. For mining, you have the miner's set, which offers reinforced mining luck, or you can craft a set using the shard of Adderstone as the perk item. For skinning, you have the skinning set, which has skinning luck on it of course, or you can craft a set of armor using the jagged animal fang. For logging, you can get the lumberjack set, or again craft your own using a vial of sap as your selected perk item. And finally, for harvesting, you can get the harvester set or use a verbena leaf as the selected perk item to add harvesting luck to that gear. Your tool will also be a good source of luck while you're gathering. The maximum luck you can have on a tool will increase with the tier of the tool, with 9.3% being the max on Orichalcum. There is also a food buff associated with each gathering luck. You can find these either by searching the market under consumables and trade skill foods, then select the type of gathering food you are looking for, or you can make them for yourself. These foods provide different amounts of luck per tier, with 2,000 luck with the max tier food in every category. And your amulet. This will also potentially provide you with luck also for gathering. For this, it will be Adored gathering luck. Adored logging luck is added by using a drought sap as the selected perk item. Adored harvesting luck is added by using the verbena flower as the selected perk item. Adored mining luck is added by using a chunk of cobalt as the selected perk item. And adored skinning luck is added using the pristine animal fang as the selected perk item. Once this is added, this will then add 9.7% gathering luck to the amulet in the selected gathering type. There are also a few other ways you will get gathering luck, but these are not from what you wear or eat. With the changes to the forts, you will now receive a 10% to global gathering luck. This applies to your character wherever you are to all gathering skills, if your faction controls the Cutlass Keys fort. You also have trophies associated with each gathering profession. These trophies will add the desired luck to your character when the trophy is hung in your home. And you can have 3 trophies total, 1 in each of your homes, and the bonus does stack. The amount of luck the trophies provide is for minor 500 points or 5%, for basic 1000 points or 10%, and for major 1500 points or 15%. There is a trophy set associated with each of the skills: mining, logging, skinning, and harvesting. And of course, you can have multiples hung in each of your homes, like you can have one mining, one logging, and one skinning. They do not restrict one another from being hung. Also, with the introduction of music, a new source of gather luck was introduced: Luck's Labor. This increases your gather luck by 2 to 5% for 30 to 90 minutes depending on the difficulty of the song. And if you choose to flag for PvP, you will also receive an additional 30% gather luck, which will apply to all gathering skills. And on top of all of that, you will receive 2,000 points in gather luck, or 20%, simply by being max level in the gathering profession that you are working with. So you have a ton of options for getting your gathering luck, but it is important to get it. Now that we know where to get gathering luck and how much we get, let's return to why it's important and look at what the thresholds are. For this part of the video, I will go over the thresholds by individual gathering profession, because they are all quite different depending on the material or what item you are after. So I will timestamp it and you can jump to what you're looking for to save listening to them all. For mining, from iron nodes you will need 500 points or 5% mining luck before you will receive any Fey Iron. This 5% also applies to all of the perk items from iron nodes. And if you're trying to receive void metal, you will need at least 1450 points of mining luck, or 14.5% before this becomes even possible. When harvesting oil stones, you will need to have 1000 points of mining luck, or 10%, to hit the threshold to have a chance at hitting an extra loot bucket, to receive an additional 3 to 5 oil on top of the regular yield. When harvesting lodestone, you will need to have at least 10% mining luck in order to have a chance at getting the perk items, like Shard of Adderstone for example. When harvesting star metal, you will need to have 14.5% mining luck in order to be eligible to receive azurite chunks. This also applies to the perk items gathered from these nodes. For sandstone, you will need to have at least 10% mining luck if you want to be eligible to receive any of the perk items possible from these nodes. This also applies to brimstone as well. And finally, for orichalcum nodes, you will need to have at least 18% mining luck if you want to have the potential to receive any rares. Tolvium, cinnabar. Also the same 18% applies to void ore. You will also need 18% to access any of the perk items potentially gathered from these nodes. Now, for lumber. If you're harvesting young trees, you will need to have at minimum 10% logging luck if you want to be eligible to gather any of the perk items. Saps, shavings, any of it. Also, you will require that same 10% logging luck to have a chance at getting petrified wood or whisper wood. The same numbers also apply to mature trees as well, with the same potential rares. Now, for weirdwood trees. These work exactly the same way, except now you will need 14.5% logging luck in order to be able to have a chance to gather any of the perk items or the rare woods. And finally, ironwood trees. These trees again have the same logging luck thresholds on rares and perk items, which is 1800 or 18%. So you need to get at least this much before you start receiving these items. Now, let's look at harvesting. First, hemp. While we gather this, you will need to hit at least 10% harvesting luck in order to potentially gather any perk items. This also applies to shade cloth, and now 14.5% harvesting luck to get any phase fiber. For silk fiber nodes, you will need to have at least 14.5% harvesting luck in order to have a chance of harvesting any of the rare cloth or any of the perk items from this plant. And for wire fiber, you will need 1800 points of harvesting luck or 18% in order to have the potential to receive any rare cloth or any rare perk item from these nodes. If you are harvesting any of the plants that yield motes, like Dragon's Glory for example, you will need to have at least 10% harvesting luck or 1000 points to have a chance at any of the rare flowers these plants might yield. And finally for skinning. This is where things change, and luck starts to become less important. The way it seems to work with skinning is not dependent on the animal, but more on the level of the animal skinned. And although you would expect it to require much more luck per tier, like with all of the other gathering skills, this is no longer the case in terms of skinning. When they changed around the level thresholds a few months ago in order to make it so there were more sources of thick hide, they also changed around the rares. But what they did was take an easy route. So now, as long as you have 1100 skinning luck points, or 11%, you can gather any rare, any tier. The only thing that limits you now is the level. So, skinning luck is pretty basic now. Okay guys, well I hope this shed some light on, and answered all of your questions you may have had surrounding gathering luck. I also would like to take a moment to thank all of you for your support over the past year. I truly do appreciate it. I never once believed even for a second I would hit 30,000 subscribers, and here we are. And a special thanks to everyone over on my Patreon. You guys are truly legends. I hope the channel continues to grow with all of your support, and I will be covering a lot of other games as well as continuing to cover New World. So I hope you guys really stay for the ride. And as always guys, Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.